Captain Lawrence Makgotle is a senior member of the South African Police Service. How does it make you as the SAPS feel knowing that we're in a South Africa now where the perpetrators, the criminals, have become the police? The ones who were tasked with solving crimes, with preventing crimes, with the safety of the nation and the safety of the people, are the ones now that need to be put behind the dock, are the ones now that have to be put in orange overalls to serve time in jail. The cops have become the criminals. And it's not all cops, of course. You and I have had numerous conversations about this. It's not all cops. But we are seeing now that senior members of the police, senior SAPS members, have now become the criminals. The cops becoming the criminals. When do the cops catch the criminals if the cops are the criminals themselves?
The South African Police Service, SAPS, forensic ballistics expert linked to the investigation into the murder of Farmer Armand Swart, has been found guilty on 2 internal disciplinary charges while being cleared of 2 others. Captain Lawrence Makgotle, who faced an expedited SAPS disciplinary process over allegations of evidence mishandling, received a 1-month suspension without pay following the outcome. Makgotle was found guilty of dishonesty for issuing a corrected ballistic report and altering the dates on which those corrections were recorded. He was also found guilty of violating the SAPS Code of Conduct by failing to properly use available resources to identify a firearm submitted for forensic analysis. However, he was acquitted of the remaining 2 charges brought against him during the disciplinary hearing. The disciplinary case stemmed from concerns that Makgotle failed to link a firearm used in Swart's killing to several other murder and attempted murder cases. A state forensic expert testified that Makgotle departed from standard operating procedures by producing unreviewed ballistic reports containing multiple errors. Separately, Makgotle remains before the Pretoria Magistrates Court on criminal charges and is out on 15,000 rands bail under strict conditions, with a matter set to return on August 20th. Makgotle also previously testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, stating that no AK-47 cartridge cases were found at the crime scene despite earlier indications that an AK-47 had been used. He explained that while preliminary findings suggested an assault rifle, the absence of cartridge cases was inconsistent with the normal operation of an AK-47. The internal disciplinary matter has now concluded, while the criminal case continues before the courts. Just want to remind you why he was arrested and released on bail. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on the comment section below.
The Commission's Recommendations Task Team arrested Captain Makgotle for defeating the ends of justice, for being an accessory after fact, and for being found in possession of unlicensed ammunition. When they arrived at his home, they found him in possession of 28 ballistics reports, but the team is still analyzing those particular ballistic reports. They also found him with several rounds of ammunition and so on. So today he has appeared in court. He is back on the 2nd of June. But you will recall that this case emanates from the Armand Swart case, where Armand Swart was killed on the 17th of April 2024. You'll recall that he was killed in a hail of bullets, and a few hours later, our organized crime detectives, as well as Gauteng members, they had managed to arrest those that had been behind his assassination in Johannesburg. And upon their arrest, they were found with a licensed private firearm. They were found with about 15 AK-47 cartridges. And they then proceeded to the accused, or rather suspects at the time's homes, where they found actually the vehicle that was used in the hit of Armand Swart, which was a Hyundai i20. In that particular Hyundai i20, one AK-47 was found together with 2 pistols. So it means that after murdering Armand Swart, those suspects proceeded to one of the homes of the suspects, they abandoned that particular vehicle, knowing that obviously police are hot on their heels. They got into another vehicle, but little did they know that intelligence was already tailing them, and they then got arrested. Fine. So fast forward, obviously those firearms that are found are then taken for ballistics testing at our head office forensic science laboratory. And upon completion of that particular report, there are then glaring mistakes and errors that are then noted. While our organized crime detectives are still on the ground, obviously they receive information that these particular hitmen are involved in a number of high-profile cases, and they had been, involved in a lot of murders and a lot of attempted murders. But when that particular report, that was obviously signed off then by Captain Makgotle, then is finalized and presented, these two investigators from Gauteng Organized Crime then noticed that there are a lot of errors and there are no linkages. We are here today because of those two investigators, and I think we need to give credit where it's due. Because if they were not determined, if they did not persist for a second opinion on those particular firearms, a lot of cases would have remained unsolved. So through their determination, they then requested their commanders for a second opinion for those particular firearms. Those firearms were then taken from head office forensic science laboratory. They were taken to Amanzimtoti FSL, where indeed they were then linked to 30 cases, serious and violent cases, the majority of them being murder and a few attempted murder. The team, to verify whether the Amanzimtoti report was a true reflection of the forensic findings, they then requested for another second opinion. Those firearms were then taken to Eastern Cape Forensic Science Laboratory, where the two reviewers and the ballistics experts then agreed that indeed these firearms linked to 30 serious and violent cases, the majority being murder and attempted murder. So it then gave the investigators an indication that the initial report that was worked on by Captain Makgotle, it had glaring mistakes and a lot of errors. And it is unusual with the experience of Captain Makgotle that he would make such glaring mistakes and would not link these firearms to other cases. Now we know that those three firearms were linked to, firstly, the Aman Swart case. They were linked to DJ Somebody and his two bodyguards case. The Don Dindleni murder. They were linked to DJ Vinto's murder. When it comes to attempted murder, we link those firearms to the attempted murder of Josie Banyoni, the attempted murder of, I think it was DJ Vetis, and so on. So our team is still in investigating and linking other cases. It's highly likely that they'll bring other cases before court. So in the value chain, a ballistic expert plays a very crucial role. When a ballistic expert fails to provide true and accurate forensic findings, it derails investigations, so misrepresentation and failing to correctly analyze exhibits, it leads investigators to being misled, it compromises investigations, and it means perpetrators then evade justice. So it's a very serious crime, and that is why he is facing about 3 charges: the defeating of the ends of justice, accessory after the fact, because we do believe that by him misrepresenting the report and manipulating the report, then he should, together with those suspects or the accused, be charged then with the murders of Aman Swart. Because even in the Aman Swart case, where he linked the ballistics, the firearms to that particular crime scene, there were still glaring errors that would have ensured that those accused would get off scot-free.